Okay, so we are done with the sky and all. Now we have some smaller details or smaller objects in the front, which is mountains and the trees. So after the sky comes the mountains. So we will go with the mountains first. So I have this shade here. I've added a little water to it. Okay, we need to make this shade a bit dark. I'm adding cobalt blue and also some black and some Prussian blue. So this time a pretty good amount of Prussian blue. And using this shade, I'm painting the mountains in the distance. So there are two sets of mountains in this painting. Some will be distant and another layer of mountains in front of that. So to give that effect, first we apply a lighter shade of mountains here, and in front of it we will apply another darker layer of mountains. So with this we can just paint the distant mountains. I've added some water and like this. Okay, so these are the distant mountains. In front of it comes a darker mountain which is a bit more close. So let's make this shade darker to paint that. I've added some more Prussian blue to some of this shade. And it's very vibrant. We don't need that vibrant. So I'm adding some black. Now it's dull. So the black absorbed the warmth and vibrancy of the paint and made it dark and dull. And we apply another layer of mountains in the front. So these mountains are very distant and the sky is our main subject. So we don't be adding any other layer on these mountains. So if you want, you can try a bit detailed mountains as well. But this simplicity gives this painting a nice look. So make sure your previous layer is dried enough. You can see mine is not dried and it's mixing with the new shade. So that's all for the mountain part. Okay, so the last subjects in this painting is the trees in the front. So these are the pine trees and also they are going to be silhouette because it's a nice sunset glowing clouds. Because this is a nice sunset painting and the clouds are very detailed and very glowy. So adding a black silhouette trees will give a nice look to this particular painting. So I'm taking some black to my palette and I'm going to paint the silhouettes of pine trees. So of course pine trees are always nice when you paint the silhouettes. So we are going to paint some random pine trees with different sizes. So what I do is, if you have watched my snow painting, you might have noticed how I paint the pine trees. But again, I'm going to show you that again, like we start with the height. So we just draw a line which represent the height of the pine tree we are going to paint, and we start from the top with some small narrow blades pointing towards the down part. As we move down, we make them thicker and larger. So we just add some lines to represent the pine leaves. So silhouettes of pine trees are very easy and interesting. Make sure you make the leaf ends pointed. Also, they are pointing towards the down part. Okay, now let's paint another tip over here with the same technique. If you ruin the edge, you can work on them again. Just the point is that it will just increase the size a bit, but it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to cover the larger ones first. So there are some large trees in these areas, a group of 2 or 3 pine trees, tall and large. By the way, I'm using again the smallest round brush for this. So the pine trees that I'm painting in this particular painting is long and thin, not so broad. And again another tree next to this one. There is a smaller one here. And there are some larger trees in this area, so I'm painting that first again. Okay, another larger, longer one here. Okay, again another smaller one. Okay, another one here. So make sure you just keep the regularity of the leaves. Don't make uniform leaves. We can just add some smaller tips here. This is the one of the reason I haven't added any details to the mountains, because these trees will stand out when you add very less details on the mountain. So we just skip the detailing part. It's not that necessary, because the cloud is the glowy part here and all other things are going to be dark. So you don't have to detail the mountains. And we can add some tips. Okay, that's enough. Okay, the line is showing in between the leaves here. So I'm just filling that. Okay, that's all about this painting. So another thing about using such bold objects in front of a very detailed background is that it will cover up more, like the if you have done any mistakes in the sky part, it will cover up these subjects in front of the sky will cover up. Like in this case we have added some bold mountains and a set of bold pine trees which are silhouette, so the focus goes to them also to a great extent. So it will cover up all the flaws in your painting. Also, it will give a nice effect to your painting. You can see how balanced it is. So that's all about the clouds. Just keep practicing different kinds of clouds, because every cloud is different, and some are bundled and some are flat. So I've tried to cover most of them in this entire course. Like I have tried different kinds of skies in each landscapes. So I have even like shown the flattered clouds as well, the sunset one, and of course the flat one, the sky with minimal clouds as well. So yeah, so just keep practicing.